Oh, the precious realities of living conscious lives with the Lord's love vibrating deeply within our hearts, affectionately in our interactions with family, friends, and spiritual compatriots. Oh, the intensity of that love fire light as it increases daily, flows through us, and manifests God's glory and graces in so many amazing and alchemical ways to nurture life, to bring all to a fount of higher reality, and to enjoin heaven in the affairs of mankind for a blessing and a bestowal of the simple and yet profound graces of lives lived to God's glory. Dearest ones, as your Mary, in your midst I come to caress you, to wash you clean spiritually of all sense of your human frailty and of an existence outside of the circle of purity, perfection, and higher joy. When you truly accept who you are as a child of God, as a beloved of the Eternal's heart, you may live in the flame of sanctity, the field of beauty, whereby angelic presences are always with you. And the living grace of God is felt throughout your days and nights, through every breath and heartbeat, through every thought and feeling, and through the pulsation of life itself that moves within you and flows around all that you experience. When you consider life itself as a gift of beingness to you personally, you see how God values your being, your essence, your creativity. For within every breath is a current of God's holiness and perfection. Within every heartbeat, there is the impulse of God's eternal love fire manifest as the re-sparking of your identity within the greater whole of God's eternal being. Within every mindful musing and caring feeling, there is also the extension of God's essence that permeates you through your consciousness, through your aliveness, through that which animates your being every moment, dearest hearts. Truly, the gift of life is the gift of love of the Creator within you, around you, manifesting through you. And when you nurture this life, when you allow it to flow and to be, and to move and to sing and to dance, and to work its perfect work within your eternal being, then life itself may not be so difficult, tenuous, or burdensome. For all the cares that you place upon yourself by your conscious choices or your unconscious ones may truly be dissolved in a flash when you consider the greater context of who you are, the greater beingness that you are a part of as a whole. And when you feel that wholeness manifesting in the vital essences that comprise who you are, then the sadness, the anxieties, and the human desires that weigh you down may simply vanish. For what is truly important, dearest ones, save life itself as God's beingness within you. When Jesus said to become like a child again in order to enter into the kingdom or the awareness state of God's presence in your life, He meant that we must refresh ourselves in the spirit of aliveness that children naturally feel, enjoy, and manifest. And when you are alive again within this eternal context of beingness that is both simple and universal, that is both meaningful and yet not too difficult to perceive or experience. There is an amazing alchemy that occurs whereby you are lifted up in this childlike state into the very presence of angelic beings and heaven's merciful ones to bring you what you require every moment of grace and light. And in this you are truly reborn. You are renewed. And the renaissance of your higher life ensues. There are so many teachings about the way that one can attain godliness, perfection, and unity with the Source. what I share this day, dearest ones, that although there are many mental constructs of how this may manifest and what you should do with your life to make it so, in reality, it is the simplicity of beingness that when entered into, known, felt, experienced, will lead you directly to the ultimate source and fount of unity and aliveness and light. And this refreshment of God's Spirit within you may always be yours when you let go and surrender to what is godly, divine, harmonic, and choose to ingest light and every virtuous thing that it is your right to enjoy in a liberative way, with the freedom of your soul manifesting by your choice to be who you truly are, as God created you. I shared with Jesus and with all my children this teaching, and it instilled within them daily new joy on their path of self-discovery. It infused them with holy purpose, yet not in a burdensome way that they must struggle or strain to somehow reach into a realm that is far afield from their present conscious reality. It was for them and for me simply a walk in God's garden of life that brought this awareness of peace and presence, of the all possibilities, of knowing God within, of feeling the light flowing, of intuiting how love may be expressed in every moment of one's life in a God-conscious yet joyous and humble way. Truly entering into life itself brings you to that point of centeredness and hallowedness, whereby all the divine faculties begin to express themselves magnanimously through you naturally. For it is God's great joy to give you the kingdom and every means of expressing that consciousness within your life. Dearest hearts, return to God by returning through love to life, by breathing consciously, intuitively ascertaining what, how, where, when, and with whom God's light may flow through you, through your own creative self. Return to that state of oneness by allowing beingness to reside and the hallowed haven of your heart. And the auric field that you co-create with God by the light that you emanate, the reverence that you hold toward all life, and the grace that moves through you, because it is simply your choice to be with God each day in consciousness. The greatest masters have learned this understanding by applying the science of life within their lives in myriad ways, through the colorations of consciousness that they were privy to enjoy as they move through the stream of God's being throughout their days and nights, and allowed there to manifest this supernal joy, whereby every day was fresh and even exciting to experience. Where upon arising each morn, the sun would greet them, and likewise they would greet the sun. And there would be that sparking of the identity of self in new and powerful ways to allow the overarching sense of inner beingness to be expressive, of knowingness to arise naturally. Life was revered and still is within God's heart. Consider the essence of every life form as hallowed. And as you move through life, consider how that life is an aspect of God, is an extension of God, and how you may receive it, recognize and acknowledge it, behold it even as a part of self, so that in that high regard for life, you are living in the highest aspect of your beingness, which is a part of that beingness, and the other as a part of self. This high regard brings you to a state of equanimity and true enlightenment, of beingness by feeling the life that is everywhere, the essence of God that permeates all space, all time, all that is. Truly, dearest ones, when you model a conscious life of accepting God's being right where you are and not in some distant place or universe or future time, you contact reality and what is meaningful and allow it by drawing it unto and through yourself to be expressive of who it is within who you are. Yes, life is reality. life is light. And life is love fulfilled. I know that you feel these words deeply and that they are etching upon and within you new fields of grace, that when you accept them may move you into a higher realm of understanding and perception, of honor and integrity within your Christ consciousness, Buddhic awareness, and Mother presence. This is why I've prepared this discourse for quite some time and choose to release it this day, just before you celebrate the Christ Mass, in order for you to know that all of this that I have shared is what I felt as the living Christ essence of Jesus manifest within my womb during those 9 months. Yes, I felt that light. I knew His reality. I cognized pure love as God's eternal sunshine was embodying within me for a season until it could coalesce within a tiny babe, a child man, and then within the vital life of the living Christ man, Jesus, my Holy Son. Truly, blessed ones, every mother may feel what I felt as she attunes to this life within her, as she knows the expressiveness of God within the merging of the sperm and the egg into a little creature that will one day emerge into life to live as a freeborn being, to know this world in all of its glory and opportunities. See yourself as this tiny babe again. Feel the refreshment and the renewal of when you made your entree into this world without stain or blemish, pure and undefiled, and ready for your life, for your experience as a freeborn soul. If you bring this awareness into the temple of your inner selfhood as you arise each morn to perceive God within all life, then the magic will begin, the miracles will ensue, the mysteries will be revealed as you require them, and all shall be well within you, for God is present, front and center in your life, dearest ones. There were many times in the life of my son Jesus when this type of teaching was conveyed to so many through words that stirred the ethers and impregnated within them new life, new hope, new joy. My prayer this day is that through your own rebirth, through the Christic essence that you may employ by your acceptance of this reality in your life today, that you will receive from on high every perfect gift as a divine offering and bestowal for your new illuminative life, so that, hallowed from this day on, you may grace this earth with your creative spark and bless all life in the process. I am your Mother Mary, speaking through this one, who through reverence to my Immaculate Heart drew me to him, and through the magic of the Word has allowed me to enter this world to speak to my own with love, with clarity, and with divine joy. I revere you for just who you are. Now revere all as God does, and live free again. I thank you.